Hills Avenue. It is the border between Toronto, which is that side, and Vaughan, which is this side. This is Steeles that we're looking at. And that way is Bathurst. But Rockford is just across the street. We're going to walk down Torresdale. And that's my assistant, Yogi. So I've crossed the street and we are on the other side of Steeles, officially Toronto. These are the townhomes that I have pictures of on the PowerPoint, and apartment buildings, Steeles Avenue, and Torresdale. So we're going to take a walk down the street towards Rockford. So as I'm walking down Torresdale, the first thing I notice is all the apartment buildings in the area. I didn't really realize how many there were, which means probably a lot of the students that go to Rockford come from the apartment complexes and the townhomes in the area. As we walk further down, we get into a bigger residential area with big homes, and this street also leads to an entrance towards G. Rossellard Park. We have now come to Rockford, and we're going to turn right down this street, Rockford, and walk towards the school. The first thing I notice when I get to the corner is it has a crossing sign, and I also notice when I drive through during the school year that there's always a crossing guard at this corner to help students cross the street safely. A few feet down is the school bus loading zone sign, and we have come very quickly to the front of the school, in which 2 school buses sit waiting for the beginning of school to start in September. The first sight I see is that Rockford has a childcare center, which is very convenient. Directly across from the school are a bunch of bungalows, so it's a residential area. So this is the first door I come upon, and it's labeled door number 8. The first thing I notice is that there's a lot of rust on the bottom and along the sides and top of the door. It looks pretty run down. And I also noticed that the trees aren't very well maintained. The urn at the front of this door is also cracked and broken, so that's a safety hazard that really needs to be looked into because it looks fairly sharp.
They have a green bin. They have a compost bin. That's good.
Where?
In there.
Oh yeah. So they focus on environmental sustainability with their green bins. So one thing I really like is that on the front door, their welcome sign is in different languages. It looks like Russian, Arabic, Chinese, and
yeah.
We're working on it. I have my lovely daughter as an assistant to try and help me figure it out. It's also good to see that it's wheelchair accessible. As I round the corner, there's a welcome sign with the Parenting and Family Literacy Center here. I just find that the grounds are unkempt and run down. Even this blue box here is broken and needs replacing. Here's another urn that's broken and needs replacing. The area where the students are loaded onto the buses is a semicircle, and it has a black wired chain gate to prevent the students from running onto the semicircle. And it looks like it's in fairly good condition. This is the main door of Rockford Public School, and I'm happy to note it looks like it's in much better condition than the side door, door number 8. It has a stained glass window, a nice big sign stating the school name, and there's lots of shade by big beautiful trees. This is the next door we come across. It's a big glass window and we can see into the school. there. It looks like it's a gym, basketball court with lots of games, toys, tables set up. This is the side of the building, and we come across nice big tennis courts, and beside the tennis courts looks like a school garden. So it's a huge property, lots of land in the back. It looks like it could use some maintenance on the roadway here. It looks like broken cement might need some repairing. This sign says staff parking only, which is down below. So we're going to walk towards the garden and see what kind of things are growing there. As I'm walking towards the tennis courts and the garden, I really noticed that the pavement is in very bad condition. It's all broken, needs to be redone. The property at Rockford Public School is huge. That's the Rockford Road that way, and as I pan around to the beautiful huge garden, to the backfield over there, behind the tennis courts is a playscape, which we will get to shortly. I'm at the garden. It's a beautiful big place with a sign that says Rockford Community Garden. Pan around. I love the slogan, neighbors working together to beautify our community. And according to my assistant, this is a butterfly garden because of the types of plants that are growing here attracts butterflies.
Oh, look, they also have raspberries.
And they have raspberries. What else do you see?
These is a lot of wildflowers.
A lot of wildflowers. And then further back, it looks like they're growing vegetables.
Yeah.
Way back there. It's huge. Wow, it's huge. There's tomatoes. Gardens have been sectioned off. There's onions over there.
Lettuce over here.
Yep, lettuce.
Kale, it looks like.
Looks like kale or red lettuce.
Onions.
Oh, lots of raspberries over there. Really nice, huge. The garden shed is set up just to the left of the garden, and my main concern here would be all the wood that's left on the ground. There's the ends of it are sharp, and I'd be concerned that it should be really stored in the shed before somebody uses it inappropriately or gets hurt on it. This half of the garden looks a lot better. It seems like it's been cared for and tended to, and it's not as overgrown as the first part. With most community gardens, they're dependent on the neighbors and to come in over the summertime and look after it. So hopefully somebody's in charge of ensuring the maintenance of the garden throughout the summer. But it's pretty impressive overall. So we're heading to the playscape over there, and it's quite a distance from the main school. So as an admin, I would be really concerned with supervision, getting out to the playground and in a timely fashion in order to make sure that the students are properly supervised. Well, the field is huge and large, and the other concern would be ensuring that all the students remain in the same area during lunch and not run off. I'm walking towards the tennis courts, and I've noticed that there's pylons and yellow tape, and I'm going to investigate and see why it's sectioned off. So I'm past the yellow tape, and I can see that the ground has been indented, and it was probably a lot worse earlier on, but there's some flooding. It's very muddy, and they've sectioned it off to keep the students out, which is great, and hopefully repairs are in the works to even it out and get rid of the flooding, because this is not safe. What's nice is that the school backs onto residential homes. There's a lot of trees for shade. You can see the apartments in the background. I'm walking towards this playscape, and then I notice there's a whole other playscape way over there. And a baseball diamond. And picnic tables. It's a huge property. Playscape looks like it's in fairly good condition. The ground is gravel, sand mixture. There's a variety of activities, slides, climbing. I don't know what this thing is called, but you can see this is the only piece of equipment that's rusted at the top of where the bar slides. And then there's swings for a variety of ages. The park is probably well used by families. It's just too hot right now to be out for all the families, which is probably why they're not here. So as you can see up here, there's rust, and I think that can be a safety issue because the paint is chipping. And it's something I'd want to look into. This is the back of the school. It looks like a parking lot, which is enclosed, and I like that there's a gate to keep the kids out of the parking lot. This is the staff parking lot. This is the playscape that is right next to the school, probably the one that's most used by the students. The floor of the playscape is wood chippings. It's very soft. Yeah, this is a better playground than the other one. It has tires, lots of climbing, tunnel, and it looks like it's in really good condition, and according to my daughter, it is awesome.
It is awesome.
So my daughter is seeing what kind of condition.
Testing the equipment.
She's testing the equipment. She's seeing what kind of condition the playscape is in, and she's just traversed the hanging tires and has noted that they need air. She's now going down the slide. How's the slide?
It was alright. The plastic ones are better.
Plastic slides are better, duly noted. There are 2 metal slides and 2 plastic slides.
It's good that there's variety.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety. These are the second set of tires. They seem to have more air in them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Thanks for the demonstration. It's always important to bring along somebody who's actually able to test out the surroundings and equipment in order to really verify what needs to be done.
Good monkey bars though.
Great monkey bars. And there's even a smaller playscape over there, and that is definitely for the daycare, because those are the doors that are the back doors to the daycare. There's a variety of activities for the students to use when they come out for recess. There's hopscotch, and there's basketball nets, and lots of room to run around and play in. There's some leftover clothes on the ground, so one of my concerns would be that the grounds are maintained and garbage is picked up. One thing I have really noted about this school is its extension to the environment. They've actually created an outdoor classroom here with rocks to sit on in a shaded area. I think that's very up and coming. So along with their huge community garden, they try and get the kids outdoors. They have lots of land to use, and I think neighboring G. Rossler Park and making a partnership with the city to extend activities towards the environment is really important. And this brings us to the end of our tour. He just keeps... During my tour, I came across a couple of students who used to go to the school, and I asked them what they thought of the school. They said it was just okay, that they went here for a year and they found that the facilities inside were not clean. So they switched schools and they now go to Lester V. Pearson. They said the staff were okay. They said the outside used to be really unkempt and they didn't have a lot of place. They didn't have the garden, they didn't have places to play because there was so much garbage, but over the years they've really cleaned it up. So I found interviewing them really interesting. I think that's an important part of being an administrator, is finding out what's going on in the community around your school, talking to the people to find out where there's a need, and obviously there was a need to clean up both the inside and outside of the school.